You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. There's so much going on in the news. I don't know where to begin. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. It's like when you go into the salad bar buffet and there's so many great things. But one thing that's kind of under the rug, the president, now that he knows those amongst him were traitors, that they were making up claims and finding whistleblowers, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman and his twin brother were walked out of the White House. We know that they're not loyal to the president. Great man, decorated war veteran, God bless him. But if you're going to run a cohesive team, you don't want guys on your team that you know went against you in the past. So that's just basic business strategy, if you ask me. But now a brouhaha has broken out, and former Chief of Staff General Kelly has really lambasted into the president, and basically, you know, he said that Vindman was in his right, and you know, the president was not happy about that. Guys, he said, when I terminated Kelly, which I couldn't do fast enough, he knew full well he was way over his head. Being chief of staff wasn't for him. Came in with a bang, went out with a whimper. Like so many exes, he misses the action and just can't keep his mouth shut. So he laid into the president there, but he laid into the former general pretty hard there. Rob, what do you think?
I think it's pathetic that Trump has to malign somebody with the credentials and career of somebody like John Kelly. It's tragic, and Trump can't even do it with any class or sophistication. He can't say, here I am, okay, I don't like this guy, we disagreed, but he served his country, he was a great hero, and I respect him. It's always to disparage somebody, and it's going to shine back on Trump because he disparages somebody who's got an impeccable career and credentials. So it just makes Trump look even more the baby and the bully and full of bombast.
Hey, Rich, it's odd that the left picks all these things out about how he should have such decorum, but when respected Congressman from New York, Peter King, announced that he wasn't going to run for re-election, Ilhan Omar basically came out and said, you know, he's a racist, anti-Muslim, and wrote, you know, good riddance to Peter King.
Let us not use her as the paradigm.
Well, that's what your side does, and then you want the president to act like he's got to be Mr. Decorum.
Well, I'll say this. I think it's pathetic to defend a person like General Kelly, who's had a distinguished career, and then all of a sudden decides, I don't like this guy because he's a bull in a china shop. He's still the commander-in-chief. And let's not forget, part of his impeccable, distinguished career was trading our deserter, Bo Bergdahl, and giving back 5 Taliban soldiers. I didn't like General Kelly then, and I don't like him now.
Well, but let me just ask you this. When you're in, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman is part of the national security team. He's a member of the military, decorated member of the military, right? Was he just doing his job?
Yes, he was. He
was, because in
takes
the
an oath
military
to
code,
serve our country, not to serve a dictator.
In the military code, you answer up to your superiors. So that would mean you go back up to the commander-in-chief, who's the president, and say, hey, sir, I think we may have had a problem here. I don't think you go outside your rank and command.
And I'm sure Donald Trump would have said, gee, you're right, he would have been gone, he would have been disappeared. Come on. Vindman, there's no way you can disparage this guy.
I'll disparage him. He was born in the Ukraine, and he
disparaging
seems to have tendencies that lean towards his homeland. Now, despite him being an American and despite him coming into the United States, it's clear that his actions have been against the best interest of the country. You have to stick up for your commander-in-chief. That is your literal job.
Well, they said that about Adolf Hitler. They said that about Adolf Hitler. I mean, you know, there's a chain of command.
Rob,
Yeah, but come on.
You don't have to
see somebody marching the people on the trains, we're going to complain about it.
All right,
I'm not in a hole here.
Let's call the court to order for a minute.
Let's go to the Pope.
You guys are doing a great job.
First of all, for those of you
who are talking about the Pope, for those of you who haven't seen Two Popes, the movie, go check it out. It's an unbelievable movie. In the other track, in the other theater of the absurd, Mike Bloomberg is running around like the guy from Monopoly, Mr. Moneybags, throwing money all over the place and, you know, trying to get the establishment with him to knock Bernie out, okay? And Trump is having a field day with this thing on the other theater. Here's a tweet from Trump talking about Bloomberg, and then I'll get your thoughts. Mini Mike Bloomberg is a loser. More money, but he can't debate. He has zero presence. You will see. He reminds me of a tiny version of Jeb Low Energy Bush, but Jeb has more political skill and has treated the black community much better than Mini. So, Mini Mike is 5'4", a massive dead energy who does not want to be on the debate stage with these professional politicians. No boxes, please. He hates crazy Bernie and will, with enough money, possibly stop him. Bernie's people will go nuts. I see something happening here, Rob. I see the establishment trying to figure out a way here to get a healthy alternative for them from Bernie. What do you think?
I wonder what the color is of the sky in Trump's world. How do you behave like this? Where's his policy? Why isn't he talking about infrastructure or what he's going to do? He's picking on somebody because they're short? Come on, John. You're a parent. You wouldn't tolerate that from a third grader. I'm appalled by this.
If I may, President Trump is using the institution of the media that he's known for saying is the enemy of the people. Fake news. And he uses this fake news because he knows once I describe Mini Mike Bloomberg and his little box, this is going to be the talk of the town, and it is. So it's an effective political strategy. Then you said, what is Trump standing on?
He's going to bury himself with this.
You think Trump is going to bury
Yes, he will.
himself? All right,
People are tiring of it.
Well, let's see what kind of work Mini is doing to bury the president.
I call him Mega Mike. I love him.
Here's one of Mini Mega Mike's responses to the president. I think Bloomberg had a little tweet-a-rooski where
I know he said he would be.
Of course, we're not going to give equal time to Mike. Of course.
We're going to give equal time
I'll work on my
to
imitation.
Mike. But, no, I mean, look, I think Bloomberg would look a lot more powerful if he came out from behind the curtain, got on the stage, and just stopped, fighting his battles over Twitter and these little coduled little meetings he's having.
That's the problem. Bloomberg is too arrogant to get in the race now, to put in the shoe leather now, like Bernie has, like Klobuchar has, like Buttigieg has. He's like, you know what? I'm going to let you guys shoot each other in a circular firing squad, and then I'll jump in to clean up the pieces.
Let's take a look at
Let's
take a look at Mike Bloomberg's response.
You say so.
He said, we know many of the same people in New York. Behind your back, they laugh at you, call you a carnival barking clown. They know you inherited a fortune and squandered it with stupid deals and incompetence. I have the record and resources to beat you, and I will. Now, you don't want him to get into name-calling and say he's short or anything, but here's Mike calling him a carnival barking clown.
You're down in the gutter with skunks. I guess you got to spray them back.
So I guess it's allowed if they do it.
He did it in a much more urbane and sophisticated manner than Donald.
That was.
I could care less for sophistication. I care about what the 401k looks like. I care what we're doing internationally. And Trump scores aces.
Does Trump have a 401k? I know Bloomberg has a pretty
I think he's
impressive
probably got
one.
a couple.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well,
bottom line, I think Trump takes him.
Thank you, Rich. Rich Valdez from the This Is America podcast. Rob Taub, always a great sport and a great friend of the show. He's an ambassador for the American Diabetes Association, and he's one of their key spokesmen for the very important program, NoDiabetesByHeart.org. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Jason Lanyard. We're going to talk about real estate and the effects the Trump economy is having on housing and new housing and commercial, all that good stuff and more. More Liquid Lunch right after this.